Hello and welcome back to the Dream Printing Podcast. I have some really special quarterly planners in my hands. These were created by Mickey, and she's the CEO of this beautiful company, Mrs. Clever, because we have to be clever as work from home moms with our routines and our schedule and our systems. And so she has these beautiful quarterly planners. Each one is like a little different of a color. And it's daily. So if you like to have a big, spacious day, this is for you. It's so nice. It has project planning pages. So it's got a whole schedule for your regular day here and then your business tracker as well. It's awesome. I cannot wait for you to meet her. She is just really inspiring. Her journey has been really special. She did a Kickstarter to fund her print. She is a print school alumni, and I had the privilege of really helping her on the journey through print school and then helping her through launch school as she launched her paper product. And if you're interested and have an idea brewing in your brain and you really want to create your paper product, whether that is a planner or a devotional or a guided journal or a workbook or some sort of product like that, maybe something with your coaching program, and you want to offer that to the world, but you just don't know how to get it out of your head and actually make it tangible and bound and beautiful, I would love to welcome you into Print School. You can go to horacioprinting.com/print school. Here's the link here and learn more. It is an application-based program. You can also watch my free workshop, which Miki talks about how she watched my workshop. And that really helped her understand the bird's eye view of this process and every step of the way. So if you want to check out that free workshop, bookmark it now to watch after you get done with the interview. It's horacioprinting.com/workshop. And without further ado, I cannot wait to welcome Miki to this episode. All right, I'm so excited to kick off this episode. I have Mickey Hicks. She is the founder of Mrs. Clever, this beautiful planner company that comes with these large, stunning, robust quarterly planners that I'm obsessed with. I actually just got my next two in the mail. They're so beautiful, honestly. I love the design of it. They're very sturdy. They're very versatile. And I'm excited to kind of dive into the why behind it, how you created it. But first, let's just have you say hello to the Dream Printing Podcast listeners. If you're listening to this, I do recommend, if you want to check it out on YouTube, come over to our YouTube channel and watch this. But if you're listening, welcome as well. But welcome to the show.
Thank you, Polly. I'm excited to be here. This is fun.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you and your background and kind of how did you wander your way into this entrepreneurial world of planners?
Right. So probably 24 years ago, I was in the corporate world and I was laid off essentially. Mm-hmm. So I was sent out into my own world. Mm-hmm. Right after I got laid off, they called me right away and they said, "Would you come back as a contractor?" And I thought, okay, so I'm going to start doing this on my own. I'm really going to be I was in branding, in trend for a national retailer. So I had an infant at home. She was my first child. So I was learning back then, 24 years ago, learning how to be a work at home mom. Mm-hmm. And there really wasn't much out there, really nothing out there to help me navigate that space. And so I started creating these planners, trying to create a system for myself. And as I had another child, over time, we have fostered. We have had health crises in one of our kids. We've moved over 20 times.
Oh my gosh.
I know. We've even lived full-time in a motorhome. We've homeschooled. I mean, life has happened, right?
Yeah.
And throughout all, the constant is I've always had my business. So in order for me to be able to navigate that space, to be able to create the routines and the systems that are required to raise my kids and also address my clients, this is how it came about. I designed these for myself originally. And then, people start to see it. My colleagues would start to see it and they'd say, how are you putting this all together? How are you doing this? And so really the planner was created for that purpose. It was first for me and then to share it with others.
That's amazing. So tell us the little bit behind the name of it and also who it's for. Is it all work from home moms at a specific kind? Like what kind of did you make it for?
So my company is called Mrs. Clever, and Mrs. Clever isn't me. Mrs. Clever is the women that I serve. We are these creative, entrepreneurial women who you kind of make it up on the fly, right? Mm-hmm. We are consistently changing what we do to make our life the best for all the people we serve. That's our kids, our clients, our people in ministry. I mean, there are so many different things that we do every day, and it does require clever routines and clever systems to make that happen. So that's how the company came about.
Is it for like graphic designers or any sort of female entrepreneur working from home?
Right. So I'm in the design space. And so when I originally created it, I was creating it for me, right? So it's a 2-page per day layout, and that allows me to focus on my business and my home all in one space. So I'm thinking this is going to be for other creatives like myself, where you can look at your client space on one side, write your hours, keep track of your billing. But as I'm sharing this with others, I'm learning that it works in so many different spaces, not just for creatives. Entrepreneurial women who are, you own your own business. You may have a place that you go to, a physical workspace, but ultimately you're taking care of your people. So you have a personal life and you have a business. You hear people talk all the time about work-life balance. Well, I don't believe that is a true statement, because that implies that they are equal, and they're definitely not equal. It's a harmony and it's a rhythm. So what the planner does is it allows you to create those routines and walk through your own system that you create for your industry and for your life. And it allows you to see your space kind of holistically. Everything you're doing one day at a time. That's why it's a daily planner, because my day changes so often that I didn't do well with a weekly or a monthly. I needed to look at every single day individually, because it's going to change.
Absolutely. So that's so interesting. So let's dive deeper into this daily spread. And I have randomly just pulled up April 30th here.
Okay.
So you have this regular spread from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. with errands, dinner plans, cleaning, people to call and email, and projects.
Right. So every day, and what I teach is that every day actually starts the night before. So at the end of the day, you're going to flip forward and you're going to look at your day. Your day is going to start with gratitude. So that you can do that one in the morning, but starting your day with gratitude, your schedule goes down. These are your appointments. We all have digital calendars that we share with others, your colleagues, your spouse. Those are on your phone, and they should be. That's fine. Take that to the doctor's office. Those are great.
Yeah.
This is your day. This is your hours. So your errands, your projects, the things you wanted to get accomplished, those go on that left side that you were looking at. When the day actually happens, that next day, when you open it up and you do your daily gratitude, now your work day starts happening. And then you're tracking and journaling on that other side. Client projects, meetings and notes. I also have spaces here for expenses and mileage. These are all prompts. I know that we're using a lot of apps and digital things to keep track of these, but digital is very noisy. It's very distracting.
Amen.
This keeps your focus. Every time I open the daily dashboard, it's right there and it keeps me focused. So let's say I'm sitting here working, the UPS man comes to the door and I have to leave a project. And then, of course, how many different things have happened along the way between you go to the door and you come back to your desk. I go back, I open up my daily dashboard and it's right there. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, here's where I am. This is what I had intended to get done right now. If I opened my phone to do that, it would be exactly
down the rabbit hole, Alice in Wonderland.
Right.
Yeah.
And you cannot remember why you looked at your phone. So paper is calming. It brings focus, and it allows you to create that structure that you need. I always say it helps you find focus and create the structure that you were looking for when you went out on your own in the first place. Mm-hmm. So you wanted this personal freedom. You wanted to take the day to be yours, and this allows you to do that.
I love it. So let's talk about, this is a quarterly planner, so people can jump in whenever you want. If you want to grab her Q3, Q4 of this year, or whenever you're watching, you can go just jump in whenever. You don't have to wait till January 1st, which that's one thing I really love about your planner. But there's some special stuff that you do in the front of your product as well. So the big picture plans and the vision board. Share a little bit about that and the kind of the plan of that.
Sure. At the beginning of each quarter, though, they all have those big picture plans and the vision board, and they are adjusted for the month that the quarter's starting and going 12 months ahead. Mm-hmm. So my intention for that was plans do change, but you want to see that 12 months ahead of you for big projects, family vacations. A lot of, I teach this, I teach using the planner quite a lot. And a lot of my students like to use it for tracking birthdays and things of that nature, things that are these big ideas that you want to have all down on one place. The vision board is great to do every quarter because, again, our priorities shift and things come up that you want to address. This isn't like a New Year's resolution. This is what I want to accomplish in the next 3 months. What is my purpose and what is my focus so that I can get those things done? These micro goals, I guess, but that makes them more attainable.
I love that. So let's talk a little bit about the design. Okay, so I love the front part's great, and then I love the daily dashboard. So if you're somebody who wants a lot of space, you like to write large, you don't want to be crammed in a little box, like this definitely gives you that margin and white space, lots of room to create your day, to get it all down. I love the daily dashboard. And I love the pattern that you've chosen for your, the tabs. They're so fun. Like the prints in here are so beautiful. What inspired you with this print?
I was looking for something that addressed probably what I love to see in my home, what I love to kind of surround myself with, something that is pretty and calming. Mm-hmm. That's what the entire design was about. Every day, this clean white space that we can focus with, and just something really beautiful that's inserted in there. I know the funny thing is, when I go out in town, and I've seen my planner when I'll go into offices or meet with clients or walk into a space and somebody has my planner, which is the best.
It is.
But people like to touch it. Like they hold it and they're like, I love this book. And that makes it all worth it. I love that it brings them joy and it brings them calm. And that's just the best.
You've done such a great job with it. So let's talk about a little bit your experience in print school. Mm-hmm. And I would love to know, we'll kind of start from the beginning, and then I want to talk about your launch and what's happening now in your business and how you're continuing to get customers, because that's really interesting as well. But let's talk a little bit about kind of what led you into print school, and what did you expect? The expectation versus the reality, kind of what was that like, and just your journey there?
Yeah. So like I had said before, I was creating planners for myself. They were pretty ugly. I mean, they were designed into like a 3-ring binder, things like that for ways that I could use it. I looked into KDP. I looked into some other options of ways that I could have it bound. I wanted something in my hand. I wasn't happy with the quality of what I was finding. Nothing looked the way I wanted it to look. And I had bought other planners and tried to like adjust them and try to make them my own, but I really wanted something in my hands that was mine. Honestly, I don't know what I had done in the algorithm that made you show up, but maybe you're just in my brain. I don't know. but I did see, I believe it was on Facebook, maybe I saw an advertisement for the initial workshop, the one that you do pre-print school.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that one right away and I was hooked. Reason being, because you walked us through every step that we needed to do. I knew that if I was going to make this book, I needed somebody to tell me every single step. I work full time and I take care of my kids, and I couldn't wrap my head around how to do this. I create products for my clients all the time, but for me to be able to take the time for myself to do this and launch a new part of my business, then I needed somebody to hold my hand. And I got the impression from that very first workshop that I was going to be very well taken care of. So as soon as the workshop, probably before the workshop was over, if I'm being honest, I was ready. I was ready to jump in and do it. And I was definitely, I was never disappointed. It's fantastic. Print School is so helpful, and I could not have done it without you.
Oh, yay. You went through print school. You had your sample, I know you kind of went back and forth with quarterly, and it's a big decision to invest in a big quarterly planner because you have 4 big books a year. But your vision of that daily dashboard drove you to create the thing that you knew you wanted to make. And I love that you did that, and it is paying off. So you went through print school, you got your product, and then you went through launch school, which is the bonus course that comes with print school that teaches you marketing and getting all that set up. Tell us a bit about your launch and then what's happening now in your business.
Okay. So yes, I did go back and forth, and it was such a big decision to try to figure out how to do quarterly. And I decided to go the Kickstarter route. That was kind of terrifying, but again, all the steps were there. And you walk us through everything we need for that Kickstarter as well. And it was very exciting, and it forced me out of my comfort zone. I'm really happy to promote other people, but I had to learn how to promote myself. I had to learn how to just get out there and make these videos on my page talking about what was happening and how the Kickstarter was working and keep people updated. And I was really happy. People were very supportive. People liked to jump in and share for me, my friends, my family, my colleagues. I've had a very long career, so I nervously reached out to just my whole community and said, I'm doing this thing. And they showed up, which was great. So the Kickstarter was a really fun success. And then in the fourth quarter of last year, I was able to, get them out, start getting those products out there. And I started teaching immediately. I started teaching how to use it, how to create systems, different ways to use the planner, but different ways to help this new customer that I'm embracing. I was trying to find ways to communicate with her. And so I decided to go locally. And so I've been just getting my planner out, and I'm out in the community and I'm teaching. And that's how I'm growing this business. It's kind of hands-on in small groups and in sometimes large groups. I've spoken at large groups as well, but it's very organic, and it's really a great community that we're growing.
That's so cool. And that's how it should be. we kind of talked a little bit before the podcast. We started recording and you were telling me how you're teaching locally and finding a lot of success in that. And I think there's something so beautiful about the human connection. Like we kind of think, oh, it's 2025, everything's online and virtual. And yeah, we've been virtual hardcore since 2020, but there's just something so beautiful about the human connection. And people genuinely want a better life. People want to live up to their potential. People want to be unstuck. People want to reach their goals. And so by giving more than just a paper product, but giving yourself, giving your education, that's what takes a product into, instead of just having a customer, having a raving fan. And then that person, when they carry around your product and they actually use it, they carry a testimony with that product and it's able to grow. And it doesn't surprise me because, there's so much fruit in stepping out of your comfort zone and being willing to see customers as more than a paycheck, but as people you really want to help. And I think that's what makes your future path really bright, is like you're excited to really help people. It's not just like, oh, I want to sell 100 planners. I want to sell 1,000 planners. I want to sell. And yeah, that's okay to have those goals, right? Because that's what keeps the business growing and that helps you hire people down the road and hit your goals, which is great for your family. But it doesn't surprise me because that's how you really add value. So you're being invited to these events. Have you been hosting any events, or are you mostly tagging on to other events and you're coming in as like a guest speaker?
I've done both. Some retailers have reached out to me to do, I had one recently that she has a boutique and she said, oh, I'm just going to move all my shopping toward the back and we're going to put you up front. And that way I was teaching in the front of the store and we were working that time on like creating a home management system so that you can have everything all in one place. It was really fun, but it allowed the women to come in, have the workshop. They learned how to use the planner and how to use paper, but then they could also shop the store. So it created this really fun kind of symbiotic relationship for me and the retailer. Once I've done those, I've had other retailers reach out to do those kinds of smaller workshops. I've done some in those DIY craft spaces that are getting to be pretty popular. We have those here in town too. I've done some there. All these different venues have allowed me to reach different people because I'm doing them different times of day or night. I'm testing. I'm getting out there and seeing what she's looking for. And when a woman owns a business, and oftentimes, I mean, most of these women are either solopreneurs or they have a small staff. It can feel pretty isolating. It can feel like nobody really understands what I'm doing, how I'm trying to create this space. I got to go pick up my kid, but I also have to talk to this client. I'm pulling all these women together and they all have these shared experiences and they're all showing each other like, oh, here's where I use this. And oh, that weekly meal plan that's in the daily dashboard, I'm using it here, here, and here. They're creating their own community and I'm just there for the ride, right? I mean, I'm just there to enjoy all of it and help them understand the best systems that they can create for their unique life.
That's so cool. I love it. I love that. That is so neat, so special, and so needed. Often when we have a dream, we kind of have a picture in our head of like how it's going to play out and how it's going to work. And it's really important when you have a big dream or a big goal, which you do have with this dream and this business, that we stay flexible on the path. If anyone can pick up from this story, it's like, I thought I was going to have this online business and all these online customers. And what I found was I was having success doing this in-person events, teaching and showing up for the community. And what we have to do is use that data point. Okay, this is working. How can I do more of this? And when you find something's working, okay, well, this was my most successful event. It had a structure like this. How can I package this and do 5 of those a quarter or whatever, And so just continually letting yourself pivot and learn as you go is beautiful. And I'm glad that you've had the concept of being flexible and getting out of your comfort zone and teaching. So I'm sure these women have been so blessed by
Absolutely.
you.
It's been really great. And it's also each event that I do, whether it's for a lot of women or the small ones, I'm kind of packaging all of that in my head right now as I figure out which ones of these are going to lend themselves to online learning, because I am doing personal things, but I also am getting these. I do have customers around the country who are reaching out saying, I want to learn too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's figuring out how is it going to translate into also some learning that I can put on my website for other people as well. So that's where I'll see my growth.
Absolutely. Yeah. When I've obviously done a lot of that
Yeah.
for my planner. And what I found to be the easiest and most available is offering a recorded video, sometimes overhead on the planner, and then talking to camera and mixing those. Um, and having trainings for each section. And people love to see just the planner filled out, and I'm sure people would love to go to your Instagram and you're like, this is how I fill it out, because people love to see that and like how you set up your day as well. So giving people like permission to, here's the 3 different ways to set it up or use it. But just the general training of the planner itself and the encouragement around it. And then putting those videos on YouTube and then embedding those onto your website on a resource page. I find that to be the easiest. And then you can either keep those videos unlisted on YouTube or keep them public. And that can actually, just the traffic from YouTube can also drive the sales of people like, oh, I want this tool. I want this planner. So it kind of becomes like a net in YouTube as well. And that those videos live forever. Like I still have people watching tutorials from 2018, of the planner of making a bucket list, for example. So that's just something to think about. 2 cents there.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk about where people can go to grab their daily dashboard from Mrs. Clever.
Well, mrsclever.com is the best way.
Okay, we'll put the link right here. And you actually gave us a code to bless everybody watching and listening today. And that code is Polly25. That is so generous. Thank you so much. So be sure to use the code Polly25 at checkout and grab your planner. You can jump in at the next quarter. Go ahead and order it now before the quarter begins. And thank you so much for coming on the show. Is there anything else you'd like to share with people? Just kind of your heart for women in this entrepreneurial space?
Yeah, I had mentioned before that it can feel isolating, and I remember back when I was first getting started that you feel like sometimes you can't win. You want to be a stay-at-home mom, and then the career people you think that the career people are looking at you like, okay. And the opposite. You want to start your career or build a business, and the stay-at-home moms are like, well, are you doing everything you need to be doing for your family? I try to tell women that you can do both. It can be done, and to ignore those outside influences, because I'm building this community of women who are very successfully doing it, and they're sharing with each other how it can be done. And it's hurtful when you feel like you are trying to do both and you're leaving one or the other at a loss. And that's definitely not true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rhythm and it's a harmony. It's not like a equal balance.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to give yourself grace to be able to do that. And so that's why I love the daily dashboard so much, because it allows women to look at their whole day and look at that balance and feel those accomplishments, get excited about them. And every day on there ends with praise, because every day you did something fantastic happened, and we should give praise for that. So I get excited about the day from the beginning to end, and every day is brand new, and it's going to look totally different than yesterday. And that's just something to be grateful for and excited about.
That's so good. We have to give ourselves grace in the journey. His mercies are new every morning. So Thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been so delightful. Everyone, make sure you go to the link right here and grab your planner and join just this really special community. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, Holly. I appreciate you.